Adroit, they're going to have a think about this fourth pick now. Again, the Grimstroke Jack isn't really that strong of a combo, but it can work. It's not too bad. No. Into that Boomy
Mm,
Enigma. I believe it should be a Boomy Enigma.
yeah.
Could still be the offlane Enigma as well, but we did see Adroit running this yesterday, and it was very, very devastating to watch. They are very effective with this hero, and I love how Adroit never really wait for those big black hole moments. Whenever they see that moment where they could pick off a pos 1, or even the mid lane of the pos 2, you just black hole. You don't think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. They're just always aggressive with hero. You tend to see some teams be really conservative, but not adroit. They tend to build, what is it, Necronomicon 1 into Blink.
Yeah.
That just tells you the pace of the game Adroit wants to pump out there. Of course, this does mean that you're probably sacking Ben Soy's lane. He's just going to be alone. We've seen Adroit do this a couple of times where they just prioritize Boomy a lot more. We'll see whether a T1 can punish that or not. If they can, then this will slow Adroit down by a fair bit.
I mean, you say sacking Ben Sway's lane, but in some weird way with that position for Enigma, you do deny a creep off every single time the
Mm.
wave comes. So it's not
Mm.
necessarily sacking his lane. Like, it makes it hard for Ben Soy, but you do give him that natural creep equilibrium advantage on his side of things. So you could make the argument that really he's going to be alright. Of course, depending on what kind of offlane hero they give him. He
Yeah.
won't have the Beastmaster as an option, though, which I'm sure that Adroit would have loved to go for. It will be banned out now by T1. I wonder what else they could really go for here. You could go for something
Mm.
very self-sustaining. I was about to say the LC, but the LC is also banned out, so you won't have that option,
They've picked Dazzle a lot, especially the Enigma. They've
right?
given Ben Soy that kind of hero. They could go for it again. The nuke potential with all the Eidolons there is pretty scary. So
Right.
it could be pretty nice for Adroit if they wanted that.
It was very effective the last time. That's for
Mm.
sure. And you would have two natural Necro book carriers, which never really hurts. Like
Oh yeah,
it's always good to have a few
just
books
really
lying
fast
around.
push.
Yeah.
Yeah, the library strat you like to call it,
Yes.
and it can really start to snowball the objectives. Still gonna have a long think about that one. It is a bit risky because you tie yourself into a very early timing. They go with a Phoenix instead. So there's a lot of flexibility with how to run these lanes. It's very big in teamfight though, Mike. Black Hole and Supernova. I mean, those are two opposites, but they work really well together here.
Absolutely. Where there's light, there must be darkness, John. Right? Adroit currently have
uh,
both of those. T1, how do we respond to this? They've got some decent teamfight potential of their own with that Echo and Rolling Thunder right now. They are still lacking a decent POS 1 here. They need some real damage to come out from this T1 side. They do have the Troll as an option. You've also got that PA that's been relatively popular as of late.
mhm.
I believe the Ricky is still... No, Ricky was banned out. But the PA is also decent, right? Because you can jump onto the actual lone druid and try to burst him down ASAP. Of course, he would need a BKB, though, in a game like this.
Yeah,
But that is already
for sure.
fairly standard to go for.
Yeah, it's PA is decent. It's a bit tricky because Miracle's best here really is that spec. They go
Oh,
with the Naga. So that's one way, right? Like that's one way to counteract the black hole if you don't catch a Naga. It farms really well. It does stall the game out though. T1's gonna have to give Miracle a lot of space. And the laning phase doesn't look like it's gonna be easy for T1. There's a lot of aggression here that you can expect from a droid. So we'll see how much they can give Miracle. Otherwise, both drafts looking fairly even, I'd have to say. Like, even last time they met, T1 did actually beat a droid. So it's been a 50-50 between the two of these teams throughout this year. Granted, that's just two series. We'll see whether or not T1 can do it again here.
well, that's actually... that's definitely good news for the T1 supporters out there. Should be a closer matchup than one would expect. Adroit, however, currently just sitting at the top of the group stage right now. I believe they're currently undefeated in this current BTS Pro Series 2, and yeah, that is the case. See if T1 can take one game at least off Adroit and force a loss for this Radiant side. No other team proving to be able to do that thus far.
It's, it is a bit worrying with Detroit though. Like they went really greedy in terms of the EXP they'll need in their supports. So Jakiro wants to hit 6 for the macro power. Boomy, of course, wants to hit 6 and find a gold for his Necrobook and a Blink. Bensoy is going to need to sustain his lane by himself because Boomy's more than likely going to be in the jungle. So there's a lot there for T1 to punish, and their lineup can get that done as long as they move in the right spots. We've seen a lot of Shakers just chase around the Enigma. Paulson, in this case, shouldn't be giving Boomy too much room to breed in that jungle. And again, if they get that punishment out for the greed, it can be hard for Adroit to find that space as the game goes on.
That it can be. We'll go into it. Game number 1 between these two. See how well T1 can go up against Adroit, who have been looking pretty much unstoppable over the past couple days.
Yeah, it's been really consistent from Adroit as well. And keep in mind, this is them playing without Bach. They're subbing in Bensoy. So they don't even have their full lineup.
Bensoy's been doing a great job though. I've got to say, like, it hasn't really seemed to affect the chemistry at all of Adroit. They've just kind of melded very well together.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
PLDC. There were calls for that last night, you know?
Yeah.
Signal and execration. Oh,
one day they
nice to
might
see that.
fix their fix
No,
their
you
stuff.
can't go. Bensoy's not up. Don't go. What? Mac? What are you doing? This is such a pin. it's like a pub in see IYD. Your friend not back best can go. I love that. IYD's learned a bit of the slang.
Well, apparently they're not melding very well together with Bensoy. They just want to go without him. Poor Bensoy's come back now, like, oh, thanks for pausing, guys. Little did he know.
Is this
Yeah.
Is this discrimination? It's like I know Adroit's an Alt Cebuano stack. I'm not sure if Bensoy's from the area as well.
What does
from
that
Cebu,
mean?
from
Oh, now
from a
I'm
certain
disconnected.
region of the Philippines. Oh no!
Now
Well, we're
I'm
not pausing for you, Mike.
Oh,
we're not pausing for you.
Oh, Dota 2, come on now. You want to, like, TI-10's gonna have the biggest prize pool ever, but this is gonna happen every time?
Yeah, no one's gonna watch it because everyone's disconnected.
Alright, we're not missing out on any. It may as well happen now before, you know, a big team fight. That's what happens every other time. A big team fight breaks out, and then I get disconnected.
Yeah. It's better now. Better have it now when everyone's just kind of dancing around, just taunting around, you know, just posturing.
Like, Miracle's gonna go for a bit of a scout out with those illusions. Poor CML's gonna have to deal with it. He's gonna try and take this Bannerun away from CML. And looks like he may be successful in doing so, though no, the Jack is gonna fight for it, and CML does swipe it away. But does take a lot of harass in the process of doing so. So will Jokam though on that Enchantress.
Yeah, and it's a 3-for-1 start. A much more favorable start for Adroit. There's something we didn't talk about from the draft though, Mike. It's going to be a mid-NP for IYD. That's not exactly the hero I think of when you think of him.
Oh. We did see this though, didn't we? It wasn't from In Your Dream, but rather I think it was TNC. Never mind that though. Bensoy is in trouble now top lane. Those illusions may take him out though. No, he will barely survive, but Jokam's there.
Ooh.
And he does get the first blood. He will of course die to the tier 1 tower, but it is well worth his time.
Definitely so. Just a bit of a boost there for T1, finding that first kill, and I'm going to be very happy with that result. Still, Miracle's lane is shoved in pretty deep. So it's not the best of times for Inaga, but should be able to recover well enough.
Yeah, he'll be fine. You've got some decent magic damage there on Bensoy, but at level 1, the Fire Spirits are basically tickling Miracle. It's not really much to talk about. Mid lane, Mac falling very low on the Ember. That's one thing with the Nature's Prophet lane up against the Ember, right? You could really harass the living hell out of Mac, and there's not really much he can do to respond.
No. This is really one of the benefits of IYD starting with that Blightstone. Mac does not have a lot of base armor. So just having one right click off punishes Mac really hard in these exchanges. Will take him a couple of levels in Sleight of Fist to match up.
Well, it's Natsumi down at the bot lane on that lone druid. Is going to be there with Polison and Forev going up against him. Fisher from Polison was going to come out, but he does cancel it off. Instead, perhaps onto CML. Not the easiest lane here for T1 in this off lane. Like, Polison can't really do much up against the Jakiro, and Forev can't really do much up against the lone druid.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slower start. That does mean Natsumi should find that early farm, and he's certainly matching up with Miracle's farm up top. So overall, pretty even start for both of these carries.
And Natsumi's going to have a great old time. Miracle is also having the same, though, on that top lane, the Naga Siren. Essentially free farming right now, so you're going to need a few more levels up before they can really start applying pressure onto this Naga Siren. It's going to be even harder while Jokam is around the area on that Enchantress. They're really trying to pump out that damage onto the Naga, but it's just not enough yet. It's a very, very slow process. And now he's going to get dived. They know he doesn't have Icarus dive because he just committed. CML, meanwhile, does kill off Forev down at the bot lane. But Ben Soy is still in trouble. In fact, no, now Jokam's in trouble. And Boomy has rotated in on the Enigma. But who are we going on? He does have Malefice, but Miracle doesn't seem too concerned by it. And Boomy loses a fair bit of HP. But T1... they'll walk out just fine. It's always really frustrating to have to try and deal with a Naga Siren. It's never fun in that laning phase.
No, it really isn't. And this is hurting Boomy's progression in that jungle. You are seeing the pressure from T1 to punish that greed, and it's going to be a bit of a slower start for his Enigma.
Especially if this keeps happening. We're going to have a disconnection on Ben Soy. And Boomy's also complaining about lag.
Standard
stuff.
Day 3 of the lag series for our teams, unfortunately.
Yep. Did you ask the players in lobby about their noodle preference, John? I know you were.
No, not this time.
No?
No. Because I think we talked about it with Adroit, and it was only... No, it was only GeekFam that really responded. Adroit only responds to me when I asked him about Ben Soy. It's like, hey, where's Bok? It's like, no. Yeah, it's alright. I'm not sure what noodles are popular in Cebu, actually, but I'm sure whatever's popular there is what they prefer. Which, I want to say it's pancit, but I wouldn't know.
How dare you assume someone's noodle preference, sir? You watch your mouth.
That's fair. I deserve it.
Bot lane, Polison still trying to deal with CML here on the Jakiro. Because Forev did end up dropping a life just a couple minutes ago. This is allowing Natsumi to continue just freely farming up on this lone druid. Forev again, just going to get chased down. Once you get that Jewel Breath and the first hit root, which is always going to be very, very nice for Natsumi. If he could find a second one, he could potentially get a kill, but no, he can't quite do that. Instead, he will go back and farm up some large neutral camps, and Polison trying to fight back again up against CML. But needs to back off.
Yeah, it's again that aggression coming out from T1 to try to punish is still not slowing Adroit down too much, although Mac is uncontested in his jungle just a bit.
What's that bounty rune though? Needs that full bottle. Jokam.
Oh,
Gonna stick around. Boomy ends up going down. The Nature's Wrath flew in from the Prophet. It was enough to follow up there with Jokam. Like the TP down up to the top lane in your dream, trying to secure a kill here onto Ben Soy. Bensoy is safe, but instead they can start forcing in this tier 1 top tower, and Adroit with their current draft aren't really ready to try and defend this.
No, they don't have the EXP to stand up against this. This is the effect of leaving Bensoy alone. He's just not able to maintain a presence in the lane, so T1 can just take over. It looks like they will just get a free top tier 1.
It's a nice feeling, but you'll see mid lane, Adroit are trying to fight back by pushing in that mid tier 1 tower. Mac, very, very deep, however, on the Ember Spirit right now. Needs some help. He does have remnants available, gets a double chains off. Forev is also falling low. He does swashbuckle away, but CML does secure the kill. Now Paulson also going to be chased down, and Mac with that Flame Guard doing so much damage. A nice Ice Path, but In Your Dream is back, and CML should end up dying because of that. In fact, Joe Cam is going to chase down Mac, but again, he still has remnants. Should be fine to just remnant out if he needs to. In fact, he'll make a TP back to the fountain for a little bit. But this is going to allow In Your Dream to perhaps get a bit of chip damage over this tier 1. In fact, never mind, Mac did not take that long.
Yeah, it's just went in for the refill, wants to sustain himself. Still, T1 with the aggression, trying to punish Adroit. It's really working on that top lane, but Natsumi is going to be a constant issue. So you're trading, shutting down the Enigma Phoenix for keeping that LD as free-farmed as your Naga. And that might hurt them in the end, although Natsumi...
Nice fear. Paulson, still a good fisher, but it will not block Natsumi out. And Jocam's actually taking a fair bit of damage here from that Spirit Bear, but now In Your Dream TP's in. Swashbuckling from Forever as well. Natsumi trying to hide, but there is nowhere to hide. He will end up going down, and with that, it's another T1 push setup for the side of T1.
Yeah, again, they've been on point with that aggression this game. Really showing us just how much they can pump out with an aggressive draft like this. Adroit, they're still needing a lot more time to cook up. You're not ready on the lone druid just yet, despite having that pretty nice early start. Mac is getting ready to rotate, but your Phoenix isn't quite up there, and neither is your Enigma. So there is still a lot of time they have to wait out for before matching this pace.
T1, they're going to try and defend this. Bensoy is there with Mac. In Your Dream going to be the main target, although TP, no chains were out from Mac. The egg there as well, In Your Dream. Assuming the chains were already used, does end up going down, and now Joe Cam will also be chased down. There's going to be some big form of punishment here for the side of T1. Nice stun from the Centaur, though. I thought that was just the neutral camp, but it was actually enchanted by the Enchantress. And that'll mean at least they only lose one. And they still find that bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's still a lovely trade for T1. You will kind of be hurting from losing IYD. That's a very big target to give to Adroit. But all this time is giving Miracle free farm up top. That investment should pay for itself. And you've seen just a lot of pressure from Adroit to stay in that jungle. Natsumi's now eating into that jungle space as well. So Boomy gonna be limited in the camps he can go for himself. Doesn't even have 6 yet.
Has remnants, but could be perma-stunned. Nice slide of fist dodge on that secondary roll, and Forev now getting blocked by his own Earthshaker. Paulson. Really just giving Mac the easiest way out. Mac will just walk out of there.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake, but it can happen. Of course, that Shaker combination with the Pangolier can work against you, and gives Adroit just a little bit more breathing room. All this time you spend hunting Mac is allowing a bit of a recovery for Boomy and for Natsumi. It's not quite fast enough. You compare farm coming out from them to the farm in T1, it's not too much better, but they are still slightly ahead of Miracle.
Mac, mid lane, ends up killing off Forev. He's going 1v3 in the mid lane. They just can't hold him down. And now he's chopping up meat.
He is at level 9, very far ahead of everyone else, even one level ahead of IYD, although this is a bit deep.
You say that, John. Mac is feeling confident. Sprout is there. Mac will just keep walking forward, takes the bounty, will go to the other bounty. Takes that one as well.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Mac just giving all of the runes away and down mid.
Yeah, Forev, Rolling Thunder is going to come out, but the Icarus dive there in time from Bensoy. You do have Black Hole, but no mana for it quite yet for Boomy, but he does have a Clarity active right now. So, Remnant in, Mac, nice chains out on 2 heroes with that. Forev may end up dying here on that Pangolier. He does swashbuckle away into the neutrals and does die to Bensoy's Sunray. The neutrals were not on his side. And looks like the side of Adroit just going to happily back out. They already found that tier 1 tower. They just wanted some kills.
Yeah, they do hold on to their ults as well, so they've got an option to fight in further if they want. As if they find that opportunity. It's gonna be hard to land a great black hole on Boomy without the blink, but it's there.
It's all about just trying to beat the timing for Miracle, right? Like, you just don't want him to get to that point where he's 6-slotted as a Naga Siren and you just can't deal with him anymore. Just the idea is to control the map before he can even get to that point. Though mid lane, Mac could be in trouble. No ensnare is available. Oh, Paulson, no. Paulson. He tried to time it perfectly. Miracle had song, but maybe a bit of miscommunication. That's the echo wasted. Sometimes you gotta give it a shot.
Yeah, it's a shame that does open up opportunities for Adroit to clump up now. You see Miracle actually playing really aggressive, trying to cut through the wave, but top tier 1 being pushed in really hard, and Natsumi can melt these towers.
That he can. He has the Mask of Madness up on that Spirit Bear. Meanwhile, Miracle is being chased down now. CML right behind him. Song gonna be there. Chains out, delaying things. He's gonna try for the TP and should be fine. No way to stop that.
This is, again, another opening though. Without that song, it's going to be easier for Boomy to commit the black hole as long as you catch out Paulson as well. So there's an opportunity for Adroit to play around with their ults, although they've been very happy to just split the map and find some farm for now.
Well, Adroit starting to posture around that dire jungle. Smoke up from Mac and CML. They're going to stand right behind Natsumi. Well, Paulson still standing up at the top lane trying to get that farm up for the blink, but it will cost him his life. Mac will take him out on the Ember. And with that, Adroit, do you want to push a tier 2 tower? Yeah, Forev's going to be able to defend it by himself, just with Swashbuckle and Lucky Shot, but maybe not for Jokam, who is trying to run away. No lucky roots coming out for Natsumi. So it's back into the jungle for them.
Yeah, and again, you're clearing out a lot of space where Miracle wants to be farming up. So overall, Adroit is starting to control that map, as you mentioned. Miracle is not progressing as fast as you'd want. It's not too far behind, mind you. But it still does take time for Naga to start to be a menace.
And even then, as a Naga Siren, you want to be ahead. It's similar to an alchemist in that way, that you need to be ahead in net worth. You can't really afford to be too far behind. Paulson having a look at Mac in the mid lane, but there's almost no chance of finding that kill right now.
It's not going to be able to commit. I think right now they just need to wait for Paulson to get that blink, although for it.
Yeah, he might just die here. Icarus Dive did connect. Forever gonna burn out, but no. Rolling Thunder will save him just barely. Nice little play there from Forever to get out, but now you don't have that Rolling Thunder. And Adroit, they may just keep going. In fact, Chains gonna be there onto the Enchantress Jokam. Gonna be in trouble. Egg has been dropped as well. You can't bite into the egg. So they may just have to let Jokam end up dying here on that Enchantress, and that is exactly what they do. But now the TPs do come in. Macro to be dropped as well by CML. Swashbuckle in bomb Forever, but that may cost him his life now. And they get a root? Not quite yet. Miracle trying to fight back, but oh, Black Hole being cancelled off as well from In Your Dream. Now Max still going in the backlines trying to take down that Earthshaker, but Natsumi is surrounded by Treants and Illusions, and they will go down. And Mac probably can't stick around for this kill, or maybe he could, but no, it's not going to be enough damage with the chains. He's going to run his way out, remnanting. Jokam going to slow him down with that enchant. He actually doesn't have any more remnants, but goes to the TP play. But nice Fisher coming out from Paulson just on the edge, and they do manage to find Mac.
It's a big win for T1. They find a lot of great kills. They are starting to reel it back in. Drops that net worth lead down to less than 1k for Adroit. So you are finding a lot more on the map. IYD does take over the top slot in terms of farm. Miracle not too far behind in number 2. They're progressing quite nicely towards those items now. Miracle just a few bits of gold away from finishing up the Manta. And we have seen a few Nagasarans start to step it up, even with just the Manta. So look to Miracle to start maybe applying more pressure in the lanes once that item's up. IYD saving up for the Maelstrom as well, and they find a nice kill.
Yeah, CML getting caught out on the Jakiro. You've got to respect the draft of T1. You can't underestimate how much damage they can pump out in a very, very quick time frame. And well, with that kill on Mac, Paulson, he's gotten to that point where he now has that blink up. So you definitely can take some much bigger team fights here if you are T1 more confidently than you could before. Of course, Boomy is going to have to go for that BKB timing first before going for the blink, which is something he doesn't really want to have to do, but he's got no choice. You've got the Orchid of the Prophet to worry about, as well as that that song from the Naga Siren. So Boomy will have to work his way towards that first.
Yeah, it is a bit too risky to commit that black hole still. T1 want to reveal that blink, they smoke off.
And Natsumi would be a great kill for them to get. Natsumi being a bit greedy, trying to go for the Radiance build right now. Echo being committed onto the Phoenix as well, and he disappears. Mac needs to get out of there right now. He remnants, but he is ensnared. And T1 finding 2 cores in the span of a couple seconds. And they can start moving into that T1 mid tower.
Yeah, this is really big now for T1. They're just managing to catch Adroit with their pants down. They're not able to fight back. They're slowly being picked off. You mentioned that greedy build coming out from Natsumi. I'm not sure if that Radiance is going to be effective enough with this kind of timing. It's not going to be the fastest, and he has died a bit too much to make it really quick.
There is going to be an ensnare off now on the Phoenix. Boomy also dying to In Your Dream, and Ben Soy does also die. And Miracle just getting involved very early on in this Naga is really starting to pay off. It's that just that ensnare alone is making it increasingly hard for Adroit to get away. And that seemingly is all T1 needs. Just especially for the Ember and the Phoenix, just being able to root them in place for a little bit. Really paying off.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, that's something the Naga can do quite well. They have managed to give Miracle that space, whereas Adroit hasn't really been punishing it. They have been focusing on trying to give Natsumi space, but Natsumi now with 3 deaths is most certainly behind in that pacing.
Well, Fisher doesn't connect from Paulson. They had an Orchid there from In Your Dream, but they were waiting for the Fisher to land. Forev now, Rolling Thunder. He's going to get feared up. There's a fight behind as well. A control up that Prophet. In Your Dream falling low and will die. It's a big pick-off already for Adroit as they go on to Jocam now. That Enchantress trying to TP. Looks like she will make it out. Paulson, however, will probably get chased down right by Mac. In fact, no, they don't really have that many remnants, so Mac will just let that one go as well.
That's not as bad as it could have been for T1, but Adroit still going to be satisfied with getting that streak on IYD. And that does turn a fair bit of gold away from T1. Still, they are leading with a 3k advantage. A lot of that is riding on both the NP and the Nagasarn, who is still saving up a lot of money. There's 2.4k on Miracle right now with no real showing as to what's next. I would like the defusal here. Miracle has been so active on the map and really active in these fights that I wouldn't blame him for that. He does queue up the Radiance instead, though. So it looks like a bit of the same build, except, for Natsumi, that's for the Bear. But the Radiance Naga is making an appearance again, and this is something we haven't seen in a very, very long time.
It's an interesting one. We'll see if it pays off, but excuse me, it does allow the side of T1 to, I guess, just keep map control, just keep all these waves pushed out, and they can play the slow game with Adroit. Both teams have a very similar idea, it seems. Just get that Radiance up and deal with all the summons that are coming out from either side. So that's the way they want to deal with it. Natsumi is going to have his Radiance before Miracle can get his. I don't know if it's going to pay off, though. Like, I do like the idea of the Diffusal as well.
Yeah, it's just really enables the aggression from Miracle. The biggest issue I have with Radiance on Naga is that the illusions don't really benefit from it too much. So the main factor is mitigating the right-click damage from Natsumi for the most part. And of course, when your main Naga's around, there is some good damage to go, but early on, Naga's HP is not great enough that, it's not like a Necrophos with a Radiance early on when you can just go Shroud and kite around. It's still relatively easy to focus down on the real Naga if you can isolate her.
Just a matter of whether they can, though. They haven't really been able to kill off Miracle quite yet in this game. We do have the reconnection now from In Your Dream. I believe it was a mic issue happening. Just not...
Yep.
Who was it for? Was it Adroit?
No, I think it was IYD's mic, if I recall right. Paulson paused, and it was IYD that jumped out for whatever reason. Still, looks like they've got to sort that out, and we keep the wait game. Kind of awkward when everyone's already connected, but it is what it is.
Wonder what the game plan is here from Adroit now. Like, they must feel like they are really starting to fall behind, and there is a 3k net worth lead on T1.
Hmm.
You do have this nice Roshing lineup from the side of Adroit, but they're not going to really be able to get into that Rosh pit for a bit, it seems. They have lost that
No.
other side of the map.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky to make it in there. I think the key thing for Adroit right now is the fact that their team fight can't come out yet. You're still waiting for Boomy to finish the BKB, and after that, you still need the Blink to jump the back line, so you're not seeing the Black Hole Egg combination at its fullest potential. That is taking a lot of the presence of Adroit away, so there's still a lot more for them to work towards, and that's going to be a fairly slow build-up, mainly because you are giving all of the space towards Natsumi first. Everyone else has to take a step back in terms of priority. So Adroit, even if they don't want to, they have to stall the game out. This does help Miracle a lot, but you have no choice. You need the BKB, you need the Blink. Boomy is going to set the pace of each engagement with who he does trap in the black hole.
He's not even going to have the option up until that BKB comes up. We do have the go-ahead from T1 now. They're ready to go. Looks like Adroit are just going to keep focusing on farm for now. You definitely want to try and finish off that Radiance on Natsumi, and definitely the BKB on the Enigma before you really start going. It's not really going to bother T1 though. Like, Miracle's more than happy to farm as well on the Naga Siren.
Oh.
They do have a bit of a kerfuddle there down at the bot lane, but both heroes do back out. It's the race to the Radiance, it seems.
It's going to be a an awkward rush towards the Radiance for both sides. I think for Adroit, it's not going to change Natsumi's presence as much. The berry does get a little bit more, but again, you are waiting for Boomy to really kick into his stride. For Miracle, as you mentioned, it just shoves out the
Oh
lanes
no.
constantly. Oh,
Boomy, he was
yeah.
trying to TP in the tree line, but Polison knew.
Oh.
Gets caught out. In Your Dream will be there to secure the kill on the Nature's Prophet. You can't really underestimate how much damage In Your Dream's dealing right now on that Nature's Prophet. He is hitting very hard.
Oh yeah, he went for the full right-click build on the NP. So there's a lot of damage coming out from him, and he has been really active on the map. This is going to set Adroit back. They're just really waiting for Boomy to be ready to go, and every single time he gets picked off, that's more time for T1 to just take control on the map, slowly push, and deny the map from Adroit.
Yeah, Miracle, he'll be down at the bot lane. Does force out the glyph. Meanwhile, mid, they are going on to the Phoenix. Ben Soy getting caught out there by Forev. And it was off the back of Paulson with another nice Fisher on the Earthshaker. And top lane, In Your Dream, does get caught in the Prophet. It's not the first time that's happened, and it's always Mac and CML apparently finding that Nature's Prophet out. That's a big kill.
Yeah, it's a really big kill for Adroit. Again, that's the top net worth on the map every single time they find IYD. So they get a little bit more from that trade. And it does delay T1's laning push as well. Like that tier 2 down bot, still alive. You're not pumping enough damage with just Miracle. Just yet. Cleared that out. Still, you look at Miracle, just about 800 gold away from the Radiance, and once that's up and running, farm should accelerate. The presence of Renaga really kicks up a notch and should just be able to start to do a little bit more on the map.
Yeah. I wonder what Natsumi does once the Radiance is up, though. Like, you'd imagine a quick smoke up from Adroit as soon as he does have it. They may opt to wait for Boomy for that BKB, but I don't think the black hole is going to be that important. Still going to be hard to land regardless.
Yeah, it's you still need the blink on top of that for Boomy. And it's just taking way too long. They've had to sacrifice Boomy's initial farm because there's not enough space. They've just bled too much from the laning phase. And T1 has managed to get that punishment out. This slow pace of game, despite it helping Adroit, is much more useful to T1. They've got the Naga, and they can play the long con here. They do finish up the Radiance on Miracle. So again, you're looking at that greater presence from the Naga, a lot more farm that can come out as well.
Smoke up here from Adroit. On towards that top lane. They're not really going to find anyone here. It looks like they may have been trying to search for Miracle or In Your Dream again. They are just staying away from that western side of the map. Meanwhile, T1 hanging around that Radiant jungle as well, just slowly chipping away at that bottom tier 2 tower. But now you do have the Radiance on Natsumi's bear, and he's just going to skip the creep wave with the Spirit Bear. We've seen this before. It's,
oh yeah.
We're back to this now.
Oh,
In Your Dream, he will not have it, but Natsumi's bear, of course, does have a Quelling Blade. He will just TP out with it. Although no, nice Fisher coming out from Polison. And with that, Fear, Natsumi shouldn't be able to bring this back. It is a very fast bear, however. And he's just going to run it around the map until it does come back to its owner. Yeah, he just doesn't care about who's chasing it. He's literally just going to keep pulling creep waves like this. Keep farming up.
yeah, and it's working.
Meanwhile, bot lane, In Your Dream does kill off Boomy. They do secure the Enigma kill once again. Miracle as well does have the Radiance up now on the Naga Siren.
Yeah, it's again, you look to the Naga to have that greater presence with us. Still happy to just play the farm game though. T1 maintaining that 8k lead, slowly building up. They take that tier 2 down bot, just chipping away at the map at a steady pace, and Adroit, they're not finding the answers. They just can't get the team fights up and running just yet.
Top lane in your dream, TP straight into Mac. Now the echo comes out from Polison. They secure the Ember kill. T1 looking so strong right now. A 10k net worth lead on this dire side. Only growing as time goes on. It looks like Adroit is starting to run out of space.
I'd say they have been running out of space for a while. Like, they're just not able to get this greedy lineup where it needs to be. They cannot find Boomy farm while also giving Natsumi that farm priority. There's just no room, and T1, very disciplined, very good in locking out that map. Adroit can't even reach their jungle anymore.
Yeah, it's just the Spirit Bear right now that's getting any form of farm. So at least Natsumi's getting gold on the side of Adroit, though. For Rev, Rolling Thunder now going on to Ben Soy, who has been disarmed. He has nowhere to go. Rev will secure that kill. And it's just a continuous struggle as T1 punishes anyone walking outside of that Radiant base. Meanwhile, top lane, in your dream, he just focused on objectives. He'll take that top tier 2 tower. No kind of defense to come out from Adroit. Mac does finally come out now. It's already too late though, that tier 2 is gone, and the pings are coming out for the Roshan.
It's going to be really easy for T1 to take that out. They've still got the song up and running on Miracle, in case Adroit does want to fight into that. And Adroit, even if that's a great spot for them to fight in, they don't have the tools. They're going to have to just more than likely give this one away.
It's an easy Roche. Very, very quick. They'll give it to In Your Dream on the Nature's Prophet. That's fair enough as well. I mean, he is a real powerhouse right now on that Prophet. Along with Miracle, of course, who is currently top of the net worth board on the Naga Siren. And you know, once that Naga has that Abyssal up, that's when things become really complicated. Because you've got so much lockdown after that. Anyone she does use that Abyssal on is not going anywhere.
Oh yeah. It's just, I mean, it's already a massive issue in trying to catch Miracle out anyway. Like, Adroit has not been able to find a single kill on this Naga. So T1 has given all the space in the world for Miracle. The Abyssal is just icing on top of the cake. I don't think he even needs it at this point with how far behind Adroit's been.
Smoke up from Adroit. They are going to run straight into Miracle right now. He does have the song and does commit. Ice Path is there to lock him in for a little bit. What's the game plan here? He'll try to TP. Does he have time though? He doesn't.
No, what?
He was too late. Ice Path will lock him in. And that little walk he did, if he just TP'd immediately, he would have made it, but he was a bit indecisive. His team was nowhere nearby, and it does cost him.
That's a very big kill for Adroit. That gives Boomy the BKB, gives him a lot of AoE gold to bounce back in, a lot of good EXP. I mean, right now, Natsumi has 2.8k in the bank, just waiting to build up. And you have to be careful with how far you toss Miracle. Just because he's really wealthy right now doesn't mean Adroit can't find something if you isolate him like that.
He's going to go for the Maelstrom as well, it seems, Natsumi. It's just more D-push here for the Naga Siren Illusions. And of course those Treants. That's fair enough. Gonna slowly start chipping away at that bottom tier 1 tower, and well, Forev's gonna be there with the swashbuckle, but ultimately that T1 is definitely dying. Can't forget as well, Boomy also has spider legs up on the Enigma now, so you don't quite have the blink up yet, but you do have a nice way of repositioning yourself as that Enigma. And that item can prove to be quite devastating when you're trying to get a big black hole off.
Yeah, it's going to help massively for Adroit. We have been waiting on that big team fight, but T1 has been really disciplined in not giving that opening to Adroit. Still, Adroit is holding on. Like, they've got their high ground fairly secured. They've pushed T1 back to the other side of the map. They have some jungle control to play with, and they still are looking for build-ups. Mac is saving up for BKB. That should help the cause. But it is still going to be a bit of a save up for that. Just about 500 gold away from really finishing that up.
Well, the Mithril Hammer to be finished up by Miracle quite soon. He does come back into the Radiant jungle. Of course, he does have Song back up with another TP. Meanwhile, Adroit are just kind of sticking to this eastern tree line, hoping somebody is here to farm this offlane. But T1, they've smoked up. They are going through the mid lane, trying to use that Naga Siren as bait. Oh, in your dream, no. He's going to go after Mac. It's all bait, though. He's going to be surrounded.
Oh, no.
The Ice Path is there with the Macro Pyre. Chains out as well, though. They're backing off.
Huh. I guess that works out, because there were reinforcements coming out from T1. They weren't really burning through IYD as fast as you'd expect. They just cut their losses. They don't want to overcommit, and that does keep Adroit fairly alright. Like they've stalled out the push that was being shoved in mid, although they smoke up.
They have. Maelstrom now up on
Miracle.
Natsumi. Miracle getting targeted.
Oh.
Ice Path is there. Could be enough time. They have the stun.
Oh.
The Echo comes in as well, though. Polison, it's a huge Echo slam, but now the Black Hole is out from Boomy. That's trapping 2 in. Miracle does end up dying on the Naga Siren. Now the egg is there from Bensoy as well. Everyone's stunned here on the side of T1, but it doesn't seem to be enough quite yet. In your dream, still man fighting the Spirit Bear. Natsumi might need to resummon it, but he's been silenced up. It doesn't matter though. Bensoy with the Sun Ray will take out at least the Aegis. Jokam still trying to go now on the Phoenix. Forev coming in, but can't quite snipe out that Phoenix. And now Mac trying to turn back around. Gets the chains off, cancelling the TP of that Prophet. And with that, you will lose in your dream. And he gets the Yules off as well. Onto the Pangolier. Forev, he tries to swashbuckle away, but that bear is chasing him. And that is going to be a full team wipe coming out for the side of Adroit. And what a team fight it was.
That was exactly what Adroit was looking for. The black hole into the supernova. They couldn't stop it. The song came out too late. The BKB was up. It wasn't the biggest black hole, but it's enough to just land it fully uncontested. T1 bleeding what looked like a 4K swing going the way of Adroit. And that puts them back in the map. Sure, T1 still maintains a 10K lead, but you're starting to have issues here, and if you keep bleeding out fights like that, Adroit will be able to claw their way back in this game.
Yeah, it was a great team fight indeed. It really could have gone either way. Had that Naga Siren not died first, I don't know if Adroit would have actually had enough to be able to fight back, but they just didn't allow that song to come out. There was no way to reposition here. Natsumi now gets a full Mjolnir up on the Spirit Bear. Going for that BKB straight after that. Miracle back into that Radiant jungle. Now we've seen this before. You've got to be a bit careful there. We'll show up in the mid lane. Boomy now has a blink coming out on the Enigma as well, so you do have that blink initiation. He's been lacking that the whole time, but now he does have it.
This is when it gets really scary for T1. The combo of Adroit can finally land properly. You can actually jump Miracle first, so you don't have to deal with the song for the rest of the team. It's not just Boomy that gets saved by that. And that is going to be an issue for T1 if Miracle is caught in the wrong spot. So they have to ensure their Naga is not going to be a bit too far forward. You can't afford to make that kind of slip-up anymore.
Adroit sneaking around that Roshan pit. Still a bit of time before we find out when the Roshan's going to be up, but they're going to try and see if they can investigate this dire jungle. They do have all their ultis back up again, so they could definitely afford to take a big team fight. But look at this, a smoke from T1 right behind them. Paulison can have his smoke broken, but Boomy will blink out. He doesn't want to initiate like that. He needs to be the last one in. Paulison, however, just keeps going in with those spider legs, but that might cost him. He does get caught out. He gets taken out now as well. Miracle jumps in, but what are you going to do here? Black Hole going to be on In Your Dream with the egg, though they kill off the Enigma and T1. Just kind of swarming the side of Adroit. And it looked like neither team really wanted to fight, but now they kind of have to. Mac will go onto the Naga Siren with CML, but they don't seem to have the damage output. Natsumi, meanwhile, does kill off In Your Dream, and no, never mind, they do have the damage output. Joe, Cam, and Forever, the only ones left. There'll be a chains out on that Enchantress. It'd be a slow process. They do get 4. They still lose 3 on their own end of things for Adroit anyway. It was still a very, very even team fight. In fact, the gold change was hardly anything.
Yeah, but it still drops that 10k lead T1 had down to 7k. So it's still overall swinging it toward Adroit's favor. And again, you're not seeing the best use of the black holes. Boomy did save his BKB though. So he still has a 9-second charge to play with. And that was them being distracted by the combo. This fight got split up. T1 kind of isolated themselves, and it worked in favor of Adroit. So they've got to be careful about the focus in these fights. Adroit can split it up like that with their team fight ults. And you do even have the Ags now for Mac. So he's going to be a lot harder to deal with. He's been really pushing this Ember out for his team, doing all the damage even while Natsumi's down. A lot is on the back of Mac this game.
It certainly is. You get into that point where that lone druid is not looking quite as strong. And whoa, we have our first bounty of the game. It'll be onto the Earthshaker. So Olsen's got to watch out now. Yeah, Natsumi, he's struggling a little bit more in these team fights now. It's not quite as easy as he would have hoped.
Yeah.
But Mac on that Ember, he is definitely making a lot of work happen.
He definitely is. It's again down to the fact that T1 has to split their control between Boomy, between Mac, and between Ben Soy. These are all the heroes that's causing them issues. It's the Black Hole, it's the Supernova, it's Mac jumping to the back. And they don't quite have enough control to focus on every single one at once.
They still hold on to that 9k lead on T1. Miracle is just going to make sure that mid and bot lane stays pushed out.
Radiant are scanning.
They don't want to give up control this game. Of course, Roshan is back up, and both teams are aware of this. You'd make the argument that T1 has the advantage in that Roshan pit because they do have the Naga song.
But then I don't know about that one.
Yeah, you've
like
got a black hole
from Boomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. Like he can BKB, jump in, and even with that song, you have a disadvantage. Even then, like you could pop Bensoy's egg early, preemptively, to just help you secure that post black hole stun. So I'd say it's riskier for T1 to be in the pit. The counter fight from Adroit is a lot more potent, and that has been the factor that's been keeping T1 at bay. They haven't made progress on the high ground because they know the fight there is very difficult.
Top lane. Mac will get very close to the enemy, but nobody from the side of T1 are going to show up. Still have these Naga illusions just kind of forcing in this bottom mid wave. Generally the objective of the Naga Siren, just never let any wave come out. Same is happening with Natsumi though. But they have caught out that Spirit Bear. Again, he will quilling through the tree line, but there was another tree. He does get blocked up. And that'll be one bear gone, but Natsumi does have another.
Yeah, it's a nice little gold pickup though. It's a consistent 300 gold they get every single time they isolate the bear, so Natsumi has to be careful with where he tosses. that Spirit Bear. It can be costly to bleed it out, and it has a pretty long cooldown. Don't want to get caught out without the resummon available.
Miracle. Going into the Radiant base, CML almost goes down. Doesn't quite have the damage output. Meanwhile, up at the top lane, they are about to begin a team fight, but a Great Fisher blocks them out. So instead, Mac will go ahead and pick himself up a double damage. But Miracle is still going here. Trying to force them back. Now the black hole is going to be out. They did catch one. It's not good enough, however. Paulison does end up going down. Meanwhile, the buybacks are flying out. Mac doing a hell of a lot of damage there with that DD rune. Jokam does lose his life. Forev still alive. Fighting back after In Your Dream, and they will lose Mac now. He can buy back, but you've also lost that Phoenix and the Jakiro. It looks like they've caught out Natsumi. That'll force out all three buybacks. Remnant back in from Mac. And T1, you know, with all those buybacks expended, you could really try to force that Roshan fight now.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the black hole or the egg. Have to say, Boomy getting stunned up there. I'm not sure completely if it was the Roche bash or if it was the Tango bash with the swashbuckle, but it looked like the Roche bash, and it's just really unfortunate for Boomy that just getting controlled like that. If they did get the full channel, they would have at least found a couple of kills there from Adroit. Still, this does give T1 a massive lead. Back to 18k for them. And with those buybacks expended, Adroit, they're going to have to be really cautious in whatever fights they choose. T1, they've built up a lot. You've got a Satanic, an IYD, all the damage in the world, and the sustain on the NP.
Mac trying to go here onto the Jakiro, or rather trying to go onto the Nagasara, but they'll lose CML. It'll be a dieback on that Jakiro. Now they have found the Enchantress, however. Jokam will die. Forever blinking out of there. In Your Dream, BKB TP away, not getting ensnared, of course, and will end up getting out. So 1 for 1, just both supports. Because both teams are still posturing around that Roshan pit, waiting for the right opportunity. Natsumi sends the bear in. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, not too much commitment there, but should still be able to start to chip away. You do have the egg back up in Bensoy. The black hole is going to be up in 17. So Adroit can definitely fight in there. It's going to be a bit tricky, especially since you do have a lot of disableds up in T1. 2 Abyssals up and running, of course. Miracle and Forev having that option to stun out. Going to be risky to fight in the pit without buybacks, but doesn't look like Adroit has much choice in the matter.
No. You can't let that Roshan go down at T1. It's going to be way too hard to defend high ground. So he'll start with the Spirit Bear. Mac, he'll be around as well. Of course, there's so much vision. There's just treants running around. There's illusions running around. It's almost like we're playing an RTS right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's a lot to consider here for both sides, and looks like that is enough to dissuade Adroit for now. They can't be the ones taking that risk first. T1 can kind of go in there themselves. They will have to watch out for the teamfight combinations, as, again, those cooldowns are off.
There it is, John. Look at that mid lane. Illusion versus illusion. Of course, the lone druid doesn't really have a chance. Yeah.
No. It's not enough. And Smoke out. They have their ults. Adroit, they want to find something.
This could be big. Miracle getting jumped on, getting bashed as well by Natsumi's bear, though he goes for the Abyssal on the Enigma. Now the song, but there's the black hole. He popped BKB beforehand. They do Abyssal it off, however. The Naga will get out of it. Now in your dream, trying to go after Boomy. Does kill him off. Bensoi very low as well, but he gets a Sunray and Egg off. But it's being controlled up here by Natsumi. It will go down. Forev also loses his life, however. All bodies dropping on the side of Adroit, and we have another DC. Oh no.
Whew.
These disconnections are just terrible.
Yeah, they are. But you really can't do anything about them.
No,
Internet
I can
has
feel the
been
lag.
shoddy.
I believe
Yeah.
they're actually disconnecting. It's just a consistent thing that's happening.
It's unfortunate, but I don't know. It looks like they should still be able to get Jocam. Mac does have the steering chains in a bit. Let's see how that unfolds.
Jocam shouldn't really be able to get out of this, but
No.
he does for now. Miracle, though, may not be so lucky, though. There's the Echo coming in. Polison trying to control up that bear. Looks like they will lose Natsumi as well. He does have buyback. CML, he does also go down with no buyback. It's a 2v5 situation here for T1.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Only one buyback left on the map, and that is Miracle.
Yeah, this is difficult. Adroit, they don't have their team fight ults. They don't have their full lineup.
Oh, they
Not gonna
found
defend.
Mac
Oh,
as
no.
well. Nice Fisher out from Polison. Do they have enough control? He gets the Yules off. And no, Abyssal is there. They get him.
Radiant's bottom
Now Tier 4 is being pinged out. This is a win by the looks of it for T1. Natsumi trying to skip the creep wave with the Spirit Bear, but it's not doing any good as they have creeps in the base. No GG being called right now, but Adroit certainly have no way back into this. He's going to try, it seems, with the Spirit Bear. He is all alone. They just Fisher it up, and the Ancient will be taken. T1. They do win this first game of the BO2 series between Adroit and T1.
So that was quite the victory for T1. Adroit, they were trying to do some crazy plays with the team fight combo. They were too reliant on it. They couldn't fight outside of that combination, and they bled a lot of space early to T1. They let Miracle have way too much space in Naga, so they were punished for that. I think Adroit going into game 2 have to reconsider these greedy drafts. They had so much they had to farm up for that. There wasn't enough time to get that all done.
And with that, John, we'll be back for game number 2 in just a moment. It is MLP Dota and JohnXFire. Should be about 10 minutes before the next game's draft does begin. We'll see you then.